Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Macho Marathon Man. I know it's a bit of a jump scare having my face cam up here. I know I normally don't do this, but I figured if I want to continue to grow in my content creating journey and my YouTube journey, I figured I had to start using face cam eventually in my videos. So I just kind of want to experiment with it and see how it goes. Maybe more people like it, maybe they don't. Maybe I don't like using it. I don't know. We'll see, but I want to try it out. Maybe it does make more of a connection between me and the viewers. We'll see. But with that out of the way, I just wanted to say hi to everyone again. I know it's been a while since I've made some long form YouTube videos. Maybe you guys have been following me on TikTok and YouTube Shorts to see that I'm still active, but I definitely have been putting off making these longer form videos. And as much as it's going to sound like an excuse, but in reality, I just got kind of really busy with work and other life things, and just training for the marathon itself picked up. I just really fell behind with making long form videos. But now that the marathon's over, I have a lot more free time, so I want to quickly just update you guys on where this channel is, as well as what the next couple of videos are going to be like, as well as what this channel is going to be in the future. I actually have 3 to 4 videos that I have filmed and the ideas ready for, and the scripts in some partial form done, ready to go. But again, like I said, I got too busy and kind of put them off to the side. So now that I have more time, luckily I can work on those videos and pump them out pretty quickly. Yeah, so like I mentioned before, the marathon actually happened last weekend, November the 3rd. So this is me post-marathon. And luckily I was able to film a lot of it, so definitely expect an upcoming video to be me talking about the marathon, as well as footage me running it, which is, I think, pretty cool. But as far as this video is concerned, I wanted to spend the time talking about the New York City Running Expo that happened a couple of days before the marathon. This running expo was for people to go in and pick up their bibs before the marathon, as well as it had a bunch of other really cool booths and other shops for people to go check out about running stuff, Adidas, running shoes and stuff like that. Also a lot of recovery drinks and nutrition stuff. And also I was a bit surprised, but there was a lot of other booths for other marathons that were happening throughout the country, and also a couple other ones happening outside of the country, which I thought were really cool. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video about the expo. So the New York City Marathon had a running expo that was held 3 days before the marathon itself. Again, like I mentioned, this was mostly for people to pick up their bibs. The expo is being held at the Javits Center in Manhattan. For those who haven't been there, the Javits Center is this really big convention center that's in Hudson Yards. There's a bunch of other really cool conventions and stuff that are held at this Javits Center, like New York Comic Con and the American Kennel Club dog show. They have something called Meet the Dogs, and just a bunch of people come hang out and see dogs. But anyways, this big giant convention center that's in Manhattan. It's this big glass building that's really cool to look at. If you ever find yourself down in the Hudson Yards checking out all the other cool stuff there, it's worth just kind of going over there and peeking at it. I think it's pretty big. You can't miss it. When I actually got inside the convention center, the first thing I noticed were a bunch of the really cool banners and stuff that was hanging for the marathon. I don't know if it is for every year, but this year the colors seem to be blue and orange, so it was a lot of that themed colors everywhere I looked in the convention center. I actually didn't have any line that I needed to wait for. I just kind of walked in. There was a bit of a crowd, but it was definitely moving continuously, so I just kind of followed the crowd in general. But I know for a lot of people who went to the expo on that Friday or that Saturday before the marathon, for them they had just these massive lines that people had to deal with. I kind of expected those longer lines in those later days, so I definitely wanted to go on that first day when it wasn't going to be super busy and kind of just beat the crowds in there first. But after the queue and you get inside the actual expo, you get past that big old welcome banner that's on the top of the door. The first thing you do is look for your booth that you're gonna get your running bib at. For me, I was running with Team for Kids, like I've been mentioning, so we had a very own exclusive little booth to go to, so there was even less of a line for that. But bib pickup went really smoothly too. The marathon gave you these little confirmation paperwork things that you just show the people and show them your ID and be like, hey, my name is XYZ and this is my confirmation paper. And then they just go back, get you your running bib and scan it and just hand it to you. It's really simple. After you get your bib, then you go over to the t-shirt pickup where you can pick your size of t-shirt that you want to wear, and they just give you some just basic information on top of that for the running. So like that's where I got like my running check-in bag and my post bag for after the marathon. So this was the t-shirt that all the runners got. I know it's very orange. A lot of people are saying it's like traffic cone orange. The color didn't really bother me as much, but the thing I didn't like was the long sleeveness of it. I don't like long sleeves. I especially don't like running in long sleeves. So I was really hoping for a short sleeve shirt, but whatever, I guess. I plan on framing this shirt and putting it in a shadow box, so I'm not even like gonna wear it, so long sleeves doesn't bother me that much. After you picked up your bib and your shirt, you were all good to go for the marathon. That's all the requirements you needed to do at the expo. But if you run a marathon and you don't buy all the merch that goes with the marathon, did you really run a marathon? I'm just kidding. But yes, a huge part of this expo was the New Balance shop, where they had all the exclusive TCS New York City Marathon gear. I unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, spent way too much money at this shop, but they had some really cool gear that I just couldn't help myself, and I actually bought quite a bit. I was able to pick up this really cool hoodie that says "It's That New York Energy," as well as this hat that just says the marathon. And also, like most runners, I picked up one of these windbreakers that they have. They just have the marathon on the front and the back. They had a bunch of other cool colors, but I decided to go with the white one because I don't have a lot of white jackets, and I kind of wanted to see how it looked on me. One thing that I thought was really cool about the New Balance store that they had at the expo is that when you were checking out, the people would ask if this was your first time running a marathon, and if so, they'd make a big giant announcement to the crowd, and everyone would start ringing like their cowbells and clapping and stuff, and it was really cool to see everyone celebrate like that. Unfortunately for me, this wasn't my first marathon, so I didn't get that big crowd of cheering, but it was still really cool to hear everyone. I bet when the expo was at its busiest, so like on those last 2 days, on that Friday and Saturday, I bet that crowd was just crazy loud at the cash registers of the New Balance Expo. It was crazy. But besides the New Balance store, there was still like another huge half to the expo where a bunch of companies set up different booths for selling various running gear merch. Also, a few different sponsors of the New York City Marathon. All sorts of different types of booths, so there's tons of things that you can go check out. On top of all the other booths, there were a bunch of like photo ops and like photo booth stand things that you could stand in line for and take photos with your bibs. I didn't do any of these because the lines for them were super long, and also I went by myself, so I didn't have anyone there to kind of take photos of me. I could have easily asked someone there at the expo, but I really didn't want to wait in those lines, so I kind of figured it was kind of not really worth, troubling someone to hold the picture and then standing in line, so I didn't do it. A few big highlights at the expo that I thought were really cool. They had this really big like map course of the marathon on the floor where you can kind of like walk it and see the trail of the marathon, and like a big screen that was showing like what it looked like to run the marathon on a video screen. So that was really cool. It was kind of really interactive. They also had like a different map that wasn't as big, but it listed all like the different like public transit stops and like paths and rails that you could take to track the marathon, which I found was super helpful for like building a path for like all my friends and family that were coming to watch me run the marathon. They weren't super familiar with like the subway system and the buses, so it was really easy to see like what exact stations would get you closest to the marathon so I can start building a path for them. My favorite part of the expo itself was that at the back of the expo they had like this massive wall where they listed all the different names of the marathon runners, all in alphabetical order, and the list was just massive. So it was crazy to see, and the list was just massive. I think that list really put in perspective how many different people were running this race, kind of like seeing it stretch that far. And it's really cool to like track it down and find my name amongst all the other runners. Oh, also I forgot another really cool highlight booth at the expo was the Purina One booth that they had up there. And I know what you're thinking, Purina One isn't really a running company, so why do they have a booth? I'm not too sure about that. But what they did have that was really cool is they had like this little station for you to print out little like running signs, custom running signs. But the whole catch of it was that you could make custom signs with your various pets on them. I definitely don't know for a fact, but I may be the only person that had a rabbit cheering them on for the marathon. But yeah, like I said, this is going to be a bit shorter of a video, so I'm going to call it. That's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Again, stay tuned for the more videos to come. I know I'm going to have the marathon video coming out. I have another video where I ran 10K where I set my new PR. And then also I have another video where I ran all of Broadway Street of Manhattan. So keep an eye out looking for that. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to call it. You can find me on TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram, Macho Marathon everywhere. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.